Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kristen Dench. Thank you for joining us today. I am the Director of Public and Private Partnerships with Huntington Learning Center. And I have been with Huntington for almost over 20 years now, which has been great. And I have the privilege of being able to share with you this afternoon all the stuff that Huntington does to really help support students and make a difference in their educational lives. So I'm pleased that you were able to take the time today to join us on our webinar to learn more about how Huntington can assist your schools in providing support, tutoring in core learning areas in phonics, reading, math. We also provide test prep with preparing students for SAT and ACT. I have opened the chat if you have any questions as I go through the presentation. Please feel free to ask those questions. And if for any reason I don't get to your questions during our presentation this afternoon, I will definitely reach out after to follow up with you. So let me take you through a little bit of Huntington. And Huntington is really here to provide service to help your students build academic skills, confidence, and motivation. With our proven academic programs, we've been able to really make sure that our focus over the last 50 years and the experience of our mission to still hold true, that giving every student the best education really does make a big difference in moving them forward. All Huntingtons are accredited through Middle States Association, and our highly trained professional teachers work with students to identify their areas of need and build programs that will individualize the skills to strengthen and allow students to begin to feel academic success. I will go over what Huntington Learning Center is about, our services, our results, our methodology. I'll share some of our programs that you can move forward with for your students. And at the end, we'll open up for some questions. Since 1977, our mission has stayed to give every student the best education possible. And this is how Huntington will help your students succeed by working together. Huntington is very proud to be one of the pioneer leaders in tutoring. Founded by Dr. Ray and Eileen Huntington in 1977, and now 47 years later, we have worked with over 1 million students across the country. We focus our students in grades K through 12 that attend public, private, religious, and military schools. Our programs are flexible to be offered in person or online, or as a combination of both. And our programs have a very low cost effective opportunity for you within your school's budget. Huntington is able to provide high dosage tutoring models during and after school, as well as during the summer months. We are able to service students with special education needs, remedial needs, and education enrichment. How Huntington can help your students with individualized tutoring will be through tailor-made programs focused on phonics, reading, and math. Our students that are engaged in a phonics or reading program will really focus on building those phonemic awareness, decoding, and phonics rules, as well as really focusing on the instruction on teaching fluency and evidence-based comprehension strategies. Our phonics and reading instruction are based on the science of reading principles. And in math, students are really more looked at assessing their skills, what skills they have in place, what are mastered, and what skills need to be focused and relearned and retaught, and rebuild that foundation so that they're able to carry those math skills into the next content area. These programs can be designed with your students' needs in small group ratios, and Huntington focuses on what the student needs as their goals. Since 2001, Huntington has been partnering with public and private entities to provide services that will improve the students' academic skills, confidence, and motivation. Starting with No Child Left Behind in the early 2000s, and then moving into the Every Student Succeeds Act. Huntington has also partnered with many educational programs under Title I, 21st Century Community Learning Center grants, and more recently, with the past 3 years, partnering with schools and organizations who received ESSER and GEAR funding through the American Rescue Plan, funds that were provided to address the learning loss that has been the result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This past school year, Huntington partnered with many schools and districts across the country, working side by side to implement academic programs that really yield great results. and Huntington centers have been honored to be approved providers, not only by many districts, but also by the state levels. Here you can see some quotes from our tenure of working with so many different programs, dating all the way back to those No Child Left Behind days to current. Working with the Chicago public school system a few years ago, they shared that Huntington students demonstrated significantly greater reading achievements. One of our Huntington Learning Centers in New Jersey worked recently with the Rumson Fairhaven School District on several different program opportunities. And they said Huntington students demonstrated increased comprehension of materials, improvement in math, reading, and their SAT scores. Now, thinking of results, let me share with you. Our most recent third-party study shows that students completing 50 hours of instruction in reading have gone up 33%, and in math, up 35%. Students were able to move from a below grade equivalent to at or above level. Huntington prides itself on the results our students get from the instruction that is individualized and focused on the core academic needs. And this is how we can help your students too. Huntington really does get great results. Some more specific examples of our publicly funded programs you will see here are from one of our centers in Skokie, Illinois. Working with students for only 48 hours in reading and math, we're able to move their reading percentile 17 points and their math increased 23 percentile points. 30 of these students were in grades 4th through 8th grade working online, working through this instruction. Our center in Bronx, New York was able to help students show increases in reading and math after working with students in small groups for 63 hours of instruction in grades kindergarten through 8th grade. And students you can see here were able to move their percentile points 24 in reading and 29 percentile points in math. The center in Englewood, New Jersey worked with over 300 students from grades 1st through 2nd, but in person with small group instruction in reading and math. You can see here again, these results are showing very positive, increasing 12 percentile points in reading and 8.5% points in math. In this past school year, our center in Northgate, Cincinnati worked with high school students for 33 hours, focusing just on math. And not only did they show improvement of the 9 percentile points on their assessments, but 75% of the students that were in this program went from a below standard level on their state MAP test to at or above level. And 82% of those students in 6th grade were instructed in math during the school day. Huntington gets great results, and our programs will continue to grow and help your students get great results too. Huntington programs really focus first and foremost with an academic evaluation for every student. These evaluations allow us to pinpoint the specific skills each student needs to work on in reading and or math. And this is an integral part of the process, the center staff for the program, for that we're able to really design what those students need based off of that assessment. And Huntington can help so many students through a variety of different pieces of curriculum and levels to support their needs in reading, phonics, or math. And we have a wide range of publishers that we use on a daily basis. Let's dive a little bit deeper into our reading instruction. What you'll see here is that Huntington aligns with the science of reading principles based on the findings of the National Reading Panel. Huntington's reading instruction places a very strong emphasis on phonics and phonemic awareness to really ensure that students are reading more fluently, having stronger vocabulary skills, and better comprehension strategies to attack the information. Our methodology working with students in our reading programs really integrate a very engaging approach using models and materials and curriculum to really develop the skills and strategies in this content area. With our math instruction, you can see we integrate research-based curricula that's used by many leading materials grounded in scientifically based information. So our standards and principles of math, science of studies of international math, different principles and assessments of math to really make sure that the framework that we're using, the skills and the content is being able to help students not only engage them from the basics of operations all the way through the higher level skills such as algebra, geometry, and calculus. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, so Huntington can help students through a variety of different pieces of materials. And as you can see here from our different tutoring approach, we're able to really align with that high dosage model. And with that material, with the instruction, with the repetition, you can see that we've been doing this since 1977. Our students are grounded in the relationship of building that relationship with their tutors. Working with consistent tutors is super important, and it ensures that the tutoring program continues successfully after every session. Our tutors are effective. We focus on training and hiring highly qualified teachers to ensure that they're able to deliver the different Huntington skills and strategies and methodology that our students need. Our curriculum is supported through high quality materials that are engaging, and we use a multitude of different levels to ensure that every student is able to learn from the bottom up. Definitely frequent sessions is important. Huntington students attend a minimum of 2 sessions per week during an average program. Some students will attend more frequently as needed. So the repetition is what's really key in helping students build those skills as quickly as possible. We work with small group instruction as well as one-to-one to ensure that students are getting the tutoring service that they need that's going to help them be as successful. So being able to organize those small groups so that they're with students of like skill levels helps that instruction go forward smoothly. We continuously are pulling data and following through on day-to-day sessions to ensure that students' learning programs are moving forward from that initial assessment to identifying what skills and areas they need to focus on through the day-to-day assignments and sessions so that we're able to track their improvement and make changes as needed. So as students start to improve, we're able to provide more challenging curriculum. And what's most important is the collaboration with schools. Huntington partners with you immensely, and not just with the schools, but also the parents, the classroom teachers, any educational stakeholder for that matter, to really ensure that the engagement from what we're teaching the students is making a strong delivery to the school as well as to home, so that there's a strong connection where the skills are being able to work in not only the classroom, but for homework as well. Now, here are some sample programs that you can engage with for our Huntington programs. And what's great about these programs is, again, this is just a sample, so we can customize a program to your students' academic needs. But as I share here, you can see that a big part of our results come from students that attend a minimum of 50 hours of instruction. So with our reading programs and with our math programs, you'll see that 50 hours really is a good, strong starting part for how much time a student will need to really help close those gaps that they're feeling. You can also see here that we offer one-to-one to small group, the session times, how often, during or after, online or in person. And we also can share here with you what our approved rates are with the Hawaii Department of Education. So that if you are looking for tutoring support to support one-to-one or two-to-one students, it would be at $60 per hour per student. 3-to-1 to 5-to-1 ratios are $50 per hour per student. And any programs where their group size is a 6-to-1 or more, that would be at $40 per hour per student. So again, you can see here that we can really customize a program that's going to fit your students' needs as well as your district's budget. And what's also great is by being able to really work with you together on how to help manage the schedule. Being able to provide high dosage tutoring during the school day to students is so beneficial. Students are able to gain the skills immediately through small increment sessions multiple times per week, but they're able to then take it directly to the classroom right thereafter. So being able to maximize the amount of time our teachers can work with each of your students, we'd be able to share with you a sample schedule where a teacher could really work with very many students in a day to be able to support as many students that you're looking for. And timeframes can range anywhere from 30-minute to 60-minute sessions during the school day, or 60 minutes to 120-minute sessions after school. Now, as I shared before, we definitely are aligning our core materials not only to the science of reading principles and the research scientific-based math, but we also ensure that our alignment of materials also meets the Hawaii's Common Core learning standards. So our balanced reading programs really target, again, vocabulary, challenging reading materials, evidence-based strategies, and comprehension, providing both fiction, nonfiction, literature, and background knowledge so that students are engaged with the materials and are feeling that they're learning and gaining from from what they're being taught. Our math instruction really targets those key topics by grade in mathematical skill areas, integrating concepts that will go from grade to grade so that they're able to leverage that foundation moving forward. From the number operations of facts to problem-solving skills, as well as connections to mathematical concepts for daily experiences. Again, everything that needs to be engaging for these students to ensure that they are taking what they're learning and moving forward. As I shared earlier, the initial assessment is critical to ensure that Huntington begins the student's program at the level that they are the most comfortable and identify those weakness areas to focus on to strengthen. Throughout the program, our teachers and our staff record each session with students on their progress, their scores, and their behavior and participation. Huntington will also provide an assessment at the end of the program to show progress. The communication between Huntington centers and the school will be consistent with providing feedback and progress results for each student throughout the program. What's wonderful to be able to share with all of you is that Huntington Learning Center is accredited through Middle States Association. And this accreditation certifies that Huntington's competency and credibility when it comes to tutoring programs are not only meeting and exceeding the commonly accepted standards of educational quality. Each of our 280 centers across the country have undergone the process of being accredited by Middle States. And what's really great is having some quotes from Dan Rufo, who is the Senior Associate Vice President of Middle States Association, share with us what his thoughts are about Huntington. He has shared, "What you are doing is really remarkable. You're changing with the times certain things, but your core values have not changed. You're true to who you are, and it works." Dan Rufo also shared that he said, "I can honestly say that one of the most impressive things of the Huntington model is the coordination between schools, family, and the center. You don't see that anywhere else." So again, this just proves once more how Huntington can really support not only the students, but incorporating that connection with yourselves, with the classroom teachers, and the parents, so that everyone is working together for the betterment of the students. Now, rest assured, the information obtained in each of these, or with each student, is kept confidential and only discussed between the school and Huntington Learning Center. We will not share or use any personal or identifying student data outside our company. We will only use non-identifying aggregate levels of student information for research and marketing. And of course, if anything was to be requested to be more on a personal level, we would require written request and permission from both parents as well as the school for using any of the materials for a marketing purpose. Now, one of the things here is to really understand that our Huntington teachers, we ensure that we are providing highly trained and qualified teachers. All of our teachers must hold a minimum of a bachelor's degree. Most of them will hold advanced degrees in their teaching certifications. All teachers must also pass a background check before instructing students. And although our teachers will also be required to continue their training with Huntington. So our training qualifications and recommendations for our teachers is to ensure that they are trained well before they are actually working with students on their own individually. At any point, should you want to provide professional development for your teachers, Huntington can employ district teachers as staff of Huntington to provide these reading and math programs, and we will provide that same training on Huntington methodology to those district teachers. I do appreciate everyone's time this afternoon, and thank you so much for joining me. I do have just some contact information, so if you have any questions, if you wanted to follow up with me, please feel free to use any of these links. And of course, feel free to visit our website at huntingtonhelps.com/publicly funded programs to learn more. What I'm going to do now is just really open it up to anyone that may have any questions. Please feel free to use the chat, or I will unmute everyone. Does anyone have any questions that they have for Huntington? I know that we had maybe a couple people that joined a little bit late in the presentation. I don't mind repeating anything or going back to any slides that we may have missed from the beginning. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining me today. Please feel free again. I'm going to just jump back a slide for everyone so that if you have any questions, you can see here's my email, publiclyfundedprograms@hlcmail.com. Please feel free to reach out to me. Also know that there was an email sent where you can also connect to my Calendly link if you'd like to set up a one-to-one time call, and I'd be more than happy to schedule that with you at a near future date so that we can discuss what your school needs are. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone.